most people think that crypto is about buying coins, hoping that they go up. But guys, honestly, crypto is about investing strategically into these projects that are actually going to do some powerful things. We know Bitcoin basically started the game. Ethereum laid it out. But now we have banking systems, decentralized finance, and a new economic system that's ahead. So make sure you guys watch all the way through to the end so you understand how to invest in this crypto ecosystem. What's inside this video is we're going to be talking about the top 5 coins that I'm investing in, and also some of these new decentralized finance tokens and some that are going to actually catapult in 2026. And we're going to talk about why they will do this and how you guys can actually invest with just a little bit of money if you guys are new to crypto. And I hope you guys understand this is not financial advice. We're just talking about some strategies or some examples of what you can do to invest with a little bit of money. So don't buy or sell anything that I'm talking about, because you are your own investor. Do your own research, do what you got to do. But I'm going to talk about what I think is going to make some waves in 2026. So I really believe that one of the biggest problems with cryptocurrency right now is that everybody, our retail side of investors are still looking for these pumps. They're investing for a pump, and the problem is they don't have that grid to hold, right? Because there's the market's been so manipulated that I feel like a lot of people have really given up because they haven't really prepared themselves. They haven't really built an ecosystem that's going to be sustainable, right? So that's when we say ecosystem, basically, we're just talking about diversifying in cryptocurrency. So what does that look like? Obviously, just a little lineage of crypto. We had Bitcoin basically become established, start moving up, and hasn't really, fallen over the course of like 10 to 15, I think in 2019 it was established, or 2009. I don't remember. But what I'm saying is Bitcoin built the system, and with the other altcoins that came about like Ethereum, Solana, BNB, we've had these coins actually just go pump and and everything dumps out. So the main strategy that was basically generated from time was essentially following the pumps and following the dumps, right? We had the cycles, the 4-year cycles where everybody would get into cryptocurrency at the bottom and make their money all the way up to the top, exit out. But unfortunately in 2023, 2024, we've seen a significant change in the way the market is moving. So we're not essentially seeing these huge pumps that we were normally used to, that we saw in 2022. And here's the deal. The thing is now you have to switch your mentality in cryptocurrency. You have to actually set yourself up a plan and build yourself an ecosystem that's going to be sustainable. And, it's a matter of getting some coins that are actually going to do some damage to cryptocurrency. And what I mean by damage is they're going to actually make money. So let's talk about the coins that I've allocated over time. And obviously I'm going to do what everybody, that is in, elite style stature in cryptocurrency, and that's going to consolidate into the coins that I think that are going to bring extreme value. I looked at the other day that the Simpsons prediction on XRP. It was pretty crazy, but I thought about how many predictions have they been accurate on, and I'm not going to gear this video off of, the Simpsons, but I'm like, damn, like it's crazy how they predicted a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff has happened. But I do believe that XRP is going to be bigger than Bitcoin now, and at first I was scared to say it, but I do believe that it's going to be, the new North Star for cryptocurrency. And we've seen that handoff from Bitcoin to Ethereum. We had Ethereum dominance be higher than Bitcoin dominance. But the only reason why is because I believe we needed Bitcoin to actually kick this off so that we could have, cryptos actually regulated. And the thing is that, aside from Bitcoin, XRP is the only other regulated cryptocurrency that we have. And, they're setting up for a big success. So what you really want to do now is start to position yourself into some coins that are going to make some money. And we're going to get into the topic of the coins that I believe that are going to make some money. So I think there's some real important details that you need to look at when you're looking at cryptocurrencies. You just want to look at, the rails, the blockchain or the payment network itself, the speed, the security behind it, and how much scalability is available for that token. Also, you want to look at utility, right? What type of tokens have utility, what they're going to do to be able to service the world, service people. That's huge. You want to look at access points. Do they have wallet APIs, integrations? Like how easily is it for people to access these cryptocurrency platforms? Liquidity. You want to make sure that coin always has a good amount of liquidity to be able to support the utilization of the crypto. I take it back to, back into 2022, when I started heavily investing into crypto. Obviously I caught a lot of tokens that, were coming down the backside of, a bull run. And, I kind of lost money coming down because I didn't have a big understanding of, what cryptocurrency was and how it operated and how it worked. I went all in on a meme coin and, just stuff like that. But now that we have a little more structure and we've seen how cryptocurrency is acting, the market, essentially, we have Bitcoin, who's obviously been the North Star leader, but now we're getting into talks of utility for XRP and the XRP ledger. So that token is highly looked at, right? But I do believe there are some better payment systems that are being built that could give XRP a run for their money. But for my investment strategy right now that I have, that I'm fully focused on, is actually getting into XRP, some more Ethereum, some Solana, Litecoin. I'm also looking at other projects like World Liberty Financial. I'm looking at buying stable coins, a couple stable coins. The ones that I'm interested in right now is the XRP stable coin, obviously Tether, and then the USD1, which is from World Liberty Financial. I'm also looking at, projects that are going to feed the supply chain. So you have like Quant, Vet, some other projects like those. Cellframe is actually one that I'm really looking at too right now, because I think we're going into an age of quantum computing, and Cellframe, actually their platform, their structure fits within that quantum computing category. Also, I'm looking at projects like Jasmy, obviously, for data IoT, Flux for data and IoT. You always got to have some diversity. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You want to build a strong ecosystem that's going to support a supply chain, like a whole chain going in, right? So you want your DeFi banking, you want payment rail options, you want, like utility tokens like Litecoin, Solana, Ethereum, layer 1 tokens. Then you also want to get into, data, maybe a little bit of AI, so other platforms like that are going to actually push the narrative behind crypto being able to function in a whole stream of different projects that make it happen. I'll say it over and over. ZBEC network is going to be a good one for payments, payroll. Once XRP really starts to kick it into overdrive and we get, crypto into play, I think we are going to see, maybe $100 XRP eventually, because I do believe that XRP will hit $1 trillion market cap, maybe even more, because the utility behind it is just so huge. Like, that's what we need to understand when we're investing is, what these market caps could potentially be, and all that stems on utility. How many people are going to be utilizing it? Where is it going to be utilized? Is it going to be globally? How much money could actually pour into it? I think Litecoin is actually going to be a secondary for Bitcoin. I think a lot of people are accumulating it, especially big institutions. I think they're accumulating the top 5. I think they're accumulating Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, XRP, Litecoin. There's even new projects like Canton. Canton's a new project that's coming out. So what I'm saying is they're putting, and it's the top 10, top 20 at least, I think, Canton. So look into those projects. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're putting into play everything. Like, you've seen World Liberty Financial hit the top 20. You've seen Canton hit the top 20. All these new tokens that are hitting the top 20, those are the ones that you really need to be looking at as far as investing in like some blue chip, because once this money starts to flow into cryptocurrency, this is where millionaires are made right now in the market, when it's in extreme fear, and it could potentially go down some more, but it's not going away. That's the biggest thing that you have to understand, that crypto is not going away based on everything that's happening and the way that the world is starting to reset in a new global economic system. That's what's important. So that's where you need to be focused on, is in, you know, what cryptos are actually going to come out, do some damage, make money. That's what you need to look at. If you were to actually buy even XRP, if you don't have any, you know, it's about under $2. So you figure $100 a week is like $400 a month that you could invest in XRP, and, you know, maybe chuck in a little, you know, couple $50 or whatever on these low caps that are going to be, you know, significant. You have Plume, which is RWA, is going to be, you know, they're looking to tokenize assets. And I think with crypto working the way it is, tokenizing assets is going to be highly important. Position yourselves to be successful. I love you guys. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Take care. Be blessed. I'll see you.